Good morning. Surprise, I got a haircut. Bam. Um, I was tired of the Shining Spear. You are first. You are officially first. No one can ever take it away from you. Um, I was getting tired of the mad scientist hair, so we knocked it back. Um, for this morning, I know when I launched the Saturday morning section, it was supposed to be, oh, this is for brunchy things. That's gone out the window. Clearly, that's gone out the window. We're doubling down today. If you're familiar with Kentucky Fried Chicken, you've probably heard of the Double Down. Double Down could be a brunch, I suppose. Especially what I'm doing with it. Improvements, maybe. Um, if so, the Double Down is a chicken sandwich, but the chicken is the outside of the sandwich, and the way KFC makes it, they put two kinds of cheese, bacon, and some sauce on the inside. So it's just a meat sandwich with meat and more meat. Um, it seems a bit excessive. It's I've never actually had the real thing, so because it doesn't sound good. um, but competing with it, and they've discontinued theirs because it was complicated to make, I guess. Not KFC, Taco Bell made that taco with chicken on the outside. What they did is they filled it with vegetables. The first version of it had guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, and a little bit of cheese on top. Um, and that was real good. When they brought it back, they took out the guacamole and they made the thing itself smaller. Um, and it wasn't nearly as good, which is I'm sure why they discontinued it. But the chicken on the outside sandwich concept, I think, has legs, but you got to put vegetables in the middle. You got to balance out that greasy fried outside with something fresher on the inside, which is why I'm going to put bacon in it. The BLT is my favorite sandwich. So I'm going to try to make a BLT double down with the double down outside and the BLT on the inside. That's the plan. We're also going to attempt to put together those 11 secret herbs and spices. Many attempts have been made, and I'm gonna throw out again. I'm sure the real recipe for the herbs and spices includes things that you just can't get, like big long chemical names. You know. So let's come over here. I'm going to start the day. I get to flatten the chicken. We do get to flatten the chicken. The chicken's not being marinated, but we are going to, in fact, flatten it out and turn it into a cutlet so that we can have nice sandwichy pieces. Also, welcome in. So step one, I'm going to try to put together what I think is a decent facsimile of the 11 herbs and spices. If you pay attention, some of them are cheats to make the number higher. Let's get out something to put them on while I'm... Oh, I know. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. Where's that ream of paper? This is a trick that was suggested to me. And I've never done it, but it seems like a good idea. I just have to find some paper. Paper. Snow, really? Uh, that's interesting. I've got bright sun and warm weather. Huh. Let's get out a scooper. Oh, and a pen. Then I can write down what these things are next to them. That'd be neat. That's a neat trick. So what I'm doing with the paper is I can put my spices in little piles on the paper, and then you can see what they are. And then you can just pick up the paper and go dump snow. Interesting. I wasn't looking at the weather. I'm looking at the weather. Weather radar. Huh, what do you know? A crazy snowstorm. Oh, I see what it's doing. It's some kind of lake effect nonsense. It's some kind of lake effect nonsense. So, I can guarantee you that this is in the official herbs and spices. Garlic. You can't even read that. It's so small. Also, I think the teaspoon scoop might be too big for this, so we're going to go down to the half. Garlic powder and onion powder are in everything. They are one of the most common flavor combos in savory, snacky things. Bookwoman, subscribed with Prime, and it's 9 months. Happy Twitch, baby. What are you going to name it? Here's one I can also guarantee is in the actual herbs and spices that they put on the thing. MSG. Why would they not? Okay, those are the easy suspects. Those are the easy peasy picks. Um, Other than that, there's lots of debate. Black pep. Chickadee. Interesting. The confusion and debate around the 11 herbs and spices stems from, near as I can tell, the fact that when Colonel Sanders sold his restaurant, the new owners changed the recipe, and the Colonel was very unhappy. So the recipe that we are familiar with now, I mean, I'm sure it's been changed 1,000 times since then, for cost purposes more than for flavor purposes. Because I'm sure some of the ingredients, basil. We need 11 of these? Dang. But then Colonel Sanders, angry that his recipe had been changed, published his old recipe and said this is the official recipe. But it's not the one that people are familiar with now. I'm not putting cilantro in it. Also, I don't think cilantro was in it. Also, welcome in. This is marjoram. Marge. What else do you think goes in here? Real answers only. I bet you. I bet. Oh, where's my grinder? I bet you he went for mustard. Because remember, we're essentially working from a commercialized recipe that originated in Kentucky. So it's not going to have like miso or something in it. And I don't think that the original Colonel Sanders put MSG in his because that wasn't commonplace, but I guarantee you it's in there now. Because why would they not? Mustard goes a little bit sticky when you grind it. Mustard. What else are we thinking? Must. here's the one that I'm also sure is in there, and I believe is included in the count as a cheat. And that is salt. Because again, there's obviously salt in it. And they can just say, oh, that's one of them. I like paprika. So I'm going to put paprika in as my my final pile here. Oop. I'm going to shoot more toward the full teaspoon. Size. Paprika. There, those are my 11 herbs and spices, which includes salt. So we could do a 12th one and then throw salt away, not put salt in it at all. Since salt is a bit of a cheater. What would be our 12th? Let's see. This person has bay, ginger, turmeric, allspice, and like people have made this stuff up. Paprika, garlic, ginger. Sure. I've got some powdered ginger. I can add a little bit of powdered ginger. Turmeric. That's not a bad shout. Let's go with turmeric instead of ginger. Oop. My turmeric has gone a little bit lumpy and clumpy. Okay. Our 12 herbs and spices. With my terrible handwriting, and you can't even read it because they're so small. Let's get that into a dish so I don't lose it. And you can just, I'm sure I did it slightly off camera here, and then you can just curl the paper and swoop it into whatever your lumpy turmeric, of course. And then we tiny whisk it together. Actually, we transfer the whole thing to my grinder because I think I want those leaves to be a little bit smaller in there. So okay, let's give this a sniff test. The old classic. Ooh, interesting. It does. It's interesting. They're dry spices, so they're not super fragrant while they're still dried, but they definitely have a smell. It's smoked paprika is coming through the biggest on the nose. Okay. Tidy up a little bit. Set our spice blend to the side. Get out our main event, chicken. I got 1 chicken breast for this, which I'm going to pound out. Actually, we can take the label off of it. Stop advertising for festival. We can pound it out right in the 3 inches so far. Well, that's hoping I have anywhere to go. We're gonna use a pin. We can pound it out right in the bag here. We don't need to transfer it. Nope. I knew that was going to happen. Spices are falling off my spice rack on account of the earthquakes. Boy, I hope my neighbor's not trying to sleep upstairs. That didn't really occur to me. We split it a little bit there. I may be pounding slightly too aggressively. What we're shooting for is for it to all be approximately the same thickness, because 10:30, time to get up. I was up at 7 this morning because I went to bed early last night. Speaking of times to get up. Nope. Nope. So on a chicken breast, the pointy end is thin, and then it gets fat on this end. So if you want it to fry evenly, you spend most of your time pounding the fat end until it is as thin as the pointy end, or approximately as thin as the pointy end. You can even, like, roll it a little bit. You can't actually roll it a little bit. That didn't work at all. It was I said it out loud as I was trying it out, thinking it might work, and it 100% did not. Okay, let's stop pounding and get this beastie out of this plastic. Okay. So it's actually probably a perfect cut right there, because I want 2 pieces that are just about the same size as each other. And you only get one chance at it. And I believe that just about works. One's a little bit bigger, but it's pretty close. Pretty close. Washing my hands, washing my hands. Touch the chicken. And I'm not going to touch the chicken next. Where did I put my towel? I think I put it away. Ooh. Towel. Let's move the chicken. Pull out the other board. And get out our bacon. Now the actual Double Down is flavored with bacon, but it's flavored with only bacon and cheese and like a sauce that's made out of the same herbs and spices. And I like the bacon part. Again, I've never actually had a Double Down, but I like the idea of the bacon part. Although this bacon is very irregular. But bacon is a flavoring, especially in this, where the exterior of the sandwich is going to be meat. Bacon is a flavoring, not the main event. My ideal BLT is, in fact, a tomato sandwich flavored with bacon, not a bacon sandwich dressed up with tomato. It's March, so we don't have nice tomatoes. So I got one of these greenhouse dealies, which is fine, I guess. I suppose. Let's see, how big are our chickens? Oh. Can I do them two at a time in here, you think? I'm going to fry the bacon in the pan that I'm going to then fry the chicken in so that the bacon fat can contribute a little bit of extra flavor, although we're going to drown it with some oil, but it'll be a little bit. I think we're going to use this one. I think that chicken's going to be small enough to fit in here. So let's pop over to the stove, slap our bacons. I don't know why I was taking them one at a time. Slap our bacons into this here cold pan and then heat on. Wash hand. Bacon is let's see how much I get out of those strips once they're actually crispy. I think that the smaller halves might shrink up a bit more than I want them to. And we will prepare a penne station. I've been at this a half an hour. We might have a quick one today, although I'm still got to prep some other ingredients. But we might have a quick one this morning by the pace of things. Oh, there's an ad in progress. I got a new glass tray, the big kind, that I thought would be because I was using this little tiny one as the third part of my Pan A setup when I was doing a 3-station one, and I found this big one, and I thought that would be perfect for that specifically. But for this specifically, we don't need a 3-station setup. We only need a 2-station setup. Because the KFC style fried chicken isn't breaded in breadcrumbs, it's breaded in another layer of flavored flour. So we can just have one of these be full of flavored flour and the other one have egg in it. And then go just back and forth. Egg. 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 So, what, pray tell, is everyone having for breakfast? Besides snow. Snow does a body good. Egg. Oh my, it smells like bacon in here all of a sudden. Ooh, that's nice bacon. That's some nice bacon. We need the flour tower. The tower of flour. Which is going to live slightly stage right today instead of being showed off. Should be plenty of flour. I'm going to move some of the chickeny stuff before I touch it by mistake. I'm going to pre-season the chickens here with the herbs and spices blend to get it really in there and started with flavor before I even get to the breading part. We're gonna have to touch it. And since we touched it with that hand, we're not using that hand. We're just sprinkling with the other hand. Because I don't want to get chicken in my herbs and spices blend. Cereal. Lazy and sore. Sore. Was it an exercise day? Did we do mad gains yesterday? Oh. You're too old. You're getting too old for this. The bacon needs to be flipped. I need to wash my hand real fast. On account of chicken. And then we need to dry my hands with the towel before I get them near that hot pan, or they will spit at me. We've got a thicker cut of bacon here, but so they can take a little bit more cooking. But not too much more. Chopsticks are perfect for such a thing. If you don't use chopsticks for flipping little things like that in a pan, you're a fool. Okay, chicken is pre-spiced. Hands are clean so I can touch stuff again. Let's pop back over here. We're going to, I want to add something to the egg side. What do I want to add to the egg side? This. I'm adding this to my egg side. Bulldog hot sauce. It's the sauce that comes on those spicy noodles. It's artificially chicken flavored. And it's thick. And it's angry. And that's probably too much. I'm also going to give it a little splash of cream. And now we need to blend that together. Oh, heck, we'll give it a sprinkle of our spice blend, and then the remaining spice blend actually goes entirely into the flour. Moisten? Moisten? How dare you? Moist. My bacon looks done. I'm going to pull that now so it does not get burnt to death. Oh, it's a little bit over. The pan got hot. I think that's the right amount. I think that's the right amount. It doesn't look like much, but we're not going for much. We're going for some bacon flavoring, not some bacon main ingredient. So I think that's going to be just about right. I should put some oil in that pan and get the oil started warming up. The pan already has some heat and it's starting to smoke, so that's probably not a good sign. So we're getting out my big jug of fry oil. And we're doing a shallow fry. This fry oil is going to be discarded because it is contaminated with bacon bits and rendered out bacon fat, which would not. I don't want to combine it back into the main deal. But that should heat up pretty quickly at this stage. Tiny Whisk is being called to action for a second time today to thoroughly combine our flour. And then to do the same with our now lightly creamed, spiced, and chickened eggs. But you know what would be a hilarious ingredient that I wouldn't put past them is if they put chicken, like powdered chicken bouillon, in the spice blend and called that one of the spices. It's like, yeah, we breaded our chicken with chicken flavored bread for that double chickened in goodness. We could do that. That wouldn't be that hard. I've got those little cubes. You just have to grind them up. I actually picked this up. It's caldo de tomato pasabor de pollo, tomato bouillon with chicken. And it could, I think, make for an excellent flavoring. Breading, it's not been opened yet. It's hard to open. I shouldn't be opening it now because I'm not planning on using it for this, so we're going to not open it right now. But I've been looking for powdered tomato for ages, and this is the closest thing I've been able to find that isn't a gallon jug that you order from a restaurant supply. My oil looks a little bit funky. Yo, dog. I heard you like chicken. So yeah. And that's what we do. I want to make sure I'm ready to get my hands all chickeny again before I dive in on that part. Am I? Let's see. The tomato can be sliced afterwards because the chicken's going to need to cool anyways. My lettuce is a little bit old because I buy lettuce and then I don't use it very fast. So it's a little bit wilty. So we're not going to have that nice, beautiful, crisp lettuce. Because we want the chicken to actually cool down a bit before I assemble the sandwich, because if it's too blazing hot, I won't be able to make a sandwich out of it. We should prep a catching tray for the pieces. And then I think we're planning on Just getting the temperature, the oil up to temp, fry that up, and then we can do everything else and assemble our sandwich. I need an thermometer. And thermometer. What you got for me? Don't drop it in the oil. The pan was hot when we started, so it's not going to take long to get us up there. We're closing in on 300 pretty quick, actually. I've got a new thermometer. I haven't had a chance to use it yet, but let me show it off real quick while I'm waiting for that heat to come up, the final few steps. And yes, it's another thrift store find. Hi, Selena, welcome in. We're currently waiting for our oil to heat up, and I'm about to show off one of my new finds. This is a probe thermometer with a heat-proof line that you can stick in the oven, and then the readout lives outside the oven. I did get it at a thrift store. However, it was new in package, still sealed up, and it had a thrift store price slapped on top of it. I don't know who bought it brand new, never opened it, and then dropped it off. But thank you, mysterious person. With that thing, I'll be able to do some, like, long, slow roasts or stuff. It probably does. Most of these thermometers are capable of displaying in both of the fake temperatures. The only real temperature is Kelvin. It, in fact, defaults to C, which is neat. Pretty quick response too. It jumped 20 degrees when I put my hand on it, so it's pretty snappy on its response time too. Speaking of temperatures, let's check our oil. We don't want to scorch our oil. I've got it at the lower setting that I've used for frying in the past. Oop. Okay. I think by the time I get the... Oh, you couldn't even see that. I was in the wrong angle. I think by the time I get this all panade up and ready to go, it will be at frying temp. Okay. I did that backwards because it's supposed to be wet hand, dry hand, and my wet hand dry hand and be I'm only doing 2. I don't need to be quite so picky about it. But we toss the flour on top and avoid doing that where we scrape the surface with our fingers. And then we put it back in the egg. Give it a flippy flop. Then we put it back in the flour. And we lose some of our breading into the egg. And we lose some of our egg into the breading. But this should be giving us a nice sort of thick double coat that can get nice and craggly. Get some of the crazy mitten of egg batter off of my fingers here. Keep scraping that part loose, which is not what I want to see it doing. Okay, and they can sit there for now until I'm ready to toss them in. Let me wash my hands. Well, let me scrape off my hands in the sink because I'm going to touch the chicken again right away. I just want less of a gobs of adhered stuff. Which is why you're supposed to do wet hand, dry hand, so you don't end up with a big mitten of layered batter on your hands. Okay. I did not toss the baking soda into the breading. I probably should have. That'd be a good idea. It's probably too late now. I also saw someone say that you should put sugar in the breading. Well, I'm doing it anyways. You know, I just touched stuff with the hand that I said I wasn't going to touch stuff with. Okay, well, hopefully that wasn't a disaster. We're coming over to the stove. We're gonna fry these boys up. I think I got my depth just right. They just barely sank below the surface, which is exactly what I wanted to see. We're washing our hands real quick. I can't leave that unattended too long. We're gonna have to use tongs on it now as well, because those chicken pieces are. It was definitely too late. No, it was 100% too late. I'm not pretending that it wasn't too late. That was 1000% too late to be adding either sugar or baking soda, and I threw in both. Um, if you want to add those ingredients, yeah, yell loudly if something happens. I'll definitely hear you from across the way. Um, on the topic of hearing things, um, I've been hearing voices that no, I've been looking into options for my sound problems, and I think the ideal solution is a bone conducting earpiece because it doesn't go in your ear hole, so I'll still be able to hear what's cooking. That's one of the concerns. The trouble is they don't seem to make them as one piece things. They make them as at least I couldn't find them. They make them as just the two sets, which is annoying because then I'm buying two and I only want one. Oh my, look at them. Nope. Spilled some boiling oil there. Yeah, they kind of wrap around your ear, and then it's got a little piece that sits in front of your ear, right on the thing, that little thing that's in front of your ear. Um, and it transmits the sound then by vibrating the side of your head right next to the eardrum, which leaves your eardrum open so you can also hear what's going on in the room. So they are the opposite of noise canceling. They are noise permitting. And I thought that would be the perfect solution. I could, in fact, do a two-ear job with them because my concern with having one ear was that I would want to be able to hear the food, hearing how the sound of the cooking changes as you're cooking stuff is actually very important. Um, since they don't cover up your ears, though, they're actually good for that. Um, they're also a little bit on the pricier end, so I'm shopping around with them. Thankfully, thanks to you guys' generosity, I have a little bit of budget to work with for the channel. So I don't just have to get the $10-est crappiest thing I can find. Well, that thing's looking pretty good to me, honestly. We're looking pretty good to me. I want to make sure the chicken is cooked through, so we're going to leave it in there. But so far, reasonably pleased. If you are paying attention and you want to replicate my recipe here, I've been working on figuring out how to write these recipes up in a way that is readable. And I just need a now I just need a place to put them, um, so that it's not just direct messages. Hey, do you have a recipe for this? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I believe this has worked. We have a very craggly crust on the outside, which is exactly what I was looking for. Um, I may have made this too thick. I may have not pounded these out quite enough. I just sort of evened them out, but these pieces look, if I hold one up, we're making a bit of a monster. Um, I mean, yeah, but it's not like it's a new technology. But yeah, the first headset I picked up with the intent of using it here on the stream didn't didn't behave how I wanted it to. It was not a good pick, and thankfully it was refundable. Most things at these days are refundable. What do you think? Uh, is the chicken done to the middle? What's the done temperature for chicken? 165. Well, we're not quite there. We're not quite there, so we got to leave it in there a little bit longer. Um, don't mess around with chicken. Always make sure it's cooked thoroughly. Chickens carry salmonella. Not hashtag not all chickens. Yeah, the bubbly fryingness is great. That part is working out wonderfully. Try this size, and I just flipped it. Yeah, we're getting like 140 in the middle. Oh, you can't even see it. I'm holding it in such a way that you can't see it. We're not quite getting there. I think I want to turn the temperature up. See if I can't push some more heat through it. Um, I'm worried about overcooking the breading, making it too crispy. But I hope you like the sound of bubbling oil because boy can I provide. Okay. We're flipping back, and then we're taking its temperature now. Closer. Closer. But these things are going to be screaming hot when we're done. Screaming hot. I'm glad I did not use the larger pan. First of all, they fit. But second of all, and I'm sure that when I put them both in there like that, it tanked the oil temperature, and that's why it's taking a little bit longer. They also are touching the bottom, which is why they're kind of rising up like this. As long as they're continuing to bubble vigorously, they're not absorbing a ton of oil, because the bubbling is water in the food rapidly boiling its way out and bubbling through the oil. And the steam is pushing the oil out of the way. And that's why when you when you deep fry things correctly, the finished result is not super oily. It's a little bit oily, because you're never going to get away from the oil entirely, but it's not just soaking in oil, because the moisture in the food prevents the oil from just swooping in. When you run out of moisture, the bubbles start to slow down real fast, and then the oil rushes into those open spaces. And that's when you get greasy stuff, is when you haven't done it correctly. Um, so watching those bubbles and having that nice vigorous bubbling is a good thing. For pieces like this that are this big, we're never going to draw all the moisture out of it, but we could potentially cook the exterior to the point where it prevents moisture from the interior, from the center, in escaping. We can test them. That guy's hit it. And so has that one. We're done. Okay, the pan is too hot to do anything with, so it's going to live there for a sec. The whole adventure is going to come back over here. Here they are. Can you hear them? Can you hear that if I put the mic up right next to it? Or is it too soft? They're crackling just a little bit. They came out a little bit fatter than I was shooting for, but I refuse to let my dreams be dreams. So a sandwich it shall be. They need to cool off a little bit before I can do anything with them, though. So oh, I got oil on my cutting board. If I sliced them in half, I wouldn't have that nice. First of all, I'd have to slice them in half the long way. And then we wouldn't have that. We wouldn't have that iconic look. Tomat. That knife is too small. I'm worried that that knife is too dull. And that tomato's got a bruise. When I picked it up, it didn't have a bruise. But I think with slightly smaller pieces of chicken, like if you were to do them as strips or tenders, or even just cut the breasts into sort of smaller cutlets, that breading method worked great. They have that beautiful, craggly surface that is the KFC. Oh, I've got a big mouth. If you haven't met me, I have an enormous head. Okay, let's see if that knife is sharp enough. Yes, good. A nice sharp knife. Ooh, this tomato actually looks pretty good for being a greenhouse, a late March greenhouse tomato. This is not bad. Sometimes you get these and they look like they look white on the inside, like Subway tomatoes. I'm going to save that rest of that tomato because that's plenty of tomato. In fact, that's too much tomato. I cut too many of them. But that's a decent tomato. It's not perfect. Still got a little bit of white spots in there, but pretty good tomato for a late March greenhouse tomato. Probably actually only need 2 slices of that. So I will have snacking tomato. And then let's check in on our lettuce. Again, lettuce, I regret buying it every time I buy it. As you can see, my outer leaves have gone wilty on account of me not eating it. Because lettuce is a waste of time. But it is the L in your BLT, although it only provides a crunch. The middle's still got its, well, not that leaf. The middle still has its rigor. Okay, so the official version of the Double Down has cheese. Has cheese and the Colonel's special sauce, which is just the 11 herbs and spices mixed with, um, most likely mixed with mayonnaise. But I think they put wine, a splash of white wine in it to like loosen it up. It's a decent sauce. It's actually a decent sauce, whatever's in it. But a BLT has mayonnaise. So we could split the difference and make a spiced mayonnaise. Alternatively, I was thinking that a honey mustard would be a good saucing option for this thing. I'm not putting that piece. Well, I was thinking of taking some spices and throwing them into mayonnaise and making like a flavored mayonnaise. We've already got a decent idea of what the spice mix looks like, so I can just sort of do that, but again. And as we all know, everyone loves mayonnaise. There's no one that doesn't like mayonnaise. Oh, that would be weird. Mm. So let's do that. Black pepper, a little bit of paprika, a little bit of turmeric, a little bit of garlic, onion, salt, sugar, MSG, um, basil, oregano, thyme. How about oh honey mustard? Do I want to add basil, oregano, thyme? I don't think I do. Where are you, Tiny Whisk? In my hour of need. It's very thick. Taste. Ooh, it's sweet and creamy. It needs a little bit of a. It needs a little bit more of a bite. doesn't need any more sweetness. It needs... That's a good combo. It's actually a good combo. Could do, you know, Buldak Angry Chicken Sauce. It's got chicken in it. Ooh, and that's gonna be enough. Came out a little bit quicker the second time. Ooh, that stuff's got a bit of an anger to it. I stopped buying Buldak instant noodles because the amount they put in the little packet is about twice what I want. But then they sell it as just a little bottle, and you can dish it out yourself. So I can still get that. That was it. That was it. You know, I'm starting to think KFC might put chicken bouillon in their spice blend, just just as a cheat. That's a good sauce, though. Somebody write down what I put in that sauce. I would do that again. That's a dang good sauce. Let's use a square today. Okay. Chicken. Spoon. See, the difference is I'm recording this, so I can go back and know exactly what I did. Lettuce. We're going to use 3 by the looks of it. We're going to break the spine of the third one so that it lays extra flat. Slap those guys on there. Sauce up the other half. Ooh, bacon. Can't forget the bacon. Can't forget the bacon. Sauce up the other half. And perch it on the top. Get this. Oh no. No, 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 snooze. Ugh. Snooze. It won't let me. Twitch, what are you doing? It will not let me postpone the ad. The button does not work. You're right, I need a toothpick. To hold it together. I need to take photos. So there's an ad coming up, and it will not let me skip it or postpone it. I'm going to go take my photos. Of this monster, this monstrosity, this horror that I have created. What have I done? Wow, notifications like crazy on the old tablet here. You know what this needs? Is a pickle. I'm back. The ad still hasn't quite started yet. I will put off the tasting until the ad is finished playing, so that people who want the verdict can get it, even if you're not subbed. I'm also going to cut it in half and try to take pictures of like that. But it does need a pickle, and I think the pickle would look nice on the plate too. So I'm going to get out a pickle. I didn't make my own pickles. I purchased my own pickles. Oh. It's the 100th anniversary. Founded in 1916. They've been having the 100th anniversary for 7 years. Yeah, I'm really happy with these pickles. I went back and I got a bigger jar when I finished the first one. Makes sense that they make good pickles. Pickles are a necessary accoutrement for hot dogs, in my opinion. Any of those greasy sandwiches, they're a necessary side dish. So since I'm trying to kill a little bit of time so that the ads have a chance to add, we're going to go take a picture again with the pickle on the plate because I think it looks nice. Ooh, freaking out the camera a little bit there. Okay. Returning. 44 seconds. Yeah, I spotted those pickles at the store and was like, I'll give those a try. And I was super impressed. They were so much crunchier than the Clausen ones. Very, very pleased with them as a pickle. Nathan's Famous Hot Dogs. Um, sponsor me. Specifically for the pickles. Okay, the ad is over. We are going to give this beast a try. I'm going to cut him. And yeah, I'm going to eat like a sandwich. I don't know that a toothpick would be enough for this. I think we would need one of those like where they stick a dagger through. God, look at that thing. God, look at that thing. It's doesn't have a lot of structural integrity. I will give it that. I will say that. God damn, that's a good sandwich. God damn, that's a good sandwich. Oh man. I I'm not going to be describing any like revelations of flavor here. It's crispy, crunchy fried chicken, fresh, juicy tomato, a creamy, spicy, herby sauce, and a salty hit of bacon. And they just all come together beautifully. Oh, and yeah, you're gonna need a million napkins for this thing. Mmm. I will say I am impressed with the chicken itself. That spice blend, I don't know if it's the real one. In fact, it probably isn't. But that spice blend, I guarantee you it isn't. The turmeric is actually giving it an interesting. First of all, you can see a little bit of yellow in there from the turmeric. It's giving it actually a little bit of an interesting twist on the flavor. I can taste the turmeric in there. Um, I didn't even add that much. I thought it was going to get lost, but nope. That's a good blend of spices, and I think it's probably close to the what the Colonel uses. Um, it definitely has that sort of profile to it. I'm going to use a whole roll of paper towels. Just but what I'm really impressed with, um, the crustiness of the batter of the breading, going back and forth twice like that, really gave it a beautiful craggly crust. As opposed to how I've done fried chicken in the past, where I've got a flour layer, an egg layer, and then an outer breadcrumb. In this case, it was egg, flour. Yeah, we only did it twice. We started it by seasoning the chicken on the outside. Then we dunked it in the egg. Then we dunked it in the flour. Back in the egg, back in the flour. And then we kind of let it sit in the flour and really cake on. Um, yeah, the baking soda and sugar late probably didn't do much. Included, they may have. I did notice while I was frying them. I didn't comment on it, but I did notice while I was frying them, one side was cragglier than the other, and I'm wondering if the cragglier side was the side that got the baking soda sprinkled on it. Um, I think that adding those was a good idea, but it should have been added to the entire thing of flour, not just sprinkle on at the end. Um, the sugar, especially because it being just on the outside, would give it a chance to burn. Um, oh damn, though, this is a good sandwich. Ooh, it's a lot of work. I'm not going to say this was an easy sandwich to make. Frying some chicken cutlets just to make a sandwich is is a luxury. This is a luxury thing. But if you want the luxury, if you want to try the luxury, that that paid off. Um, Even their bite. Mm. It kind of falls apart, but damn. Hmm. Miss Epsy, I didn't see you there. Welcome in. You got here just in time for the best part. Eating this monster. Mm. I would make this again. I think that the vet. Here's the thing with the real KFC Double Down. It's got no vegetables. Even if it's a tasty sauce, even if it's a crispy chicken, even if it's all delicious and put together, it's got nothing to balance out the greasy fried chicken. And that's, I think, the failure. I've always wanted to try making the Taco Bell one, the chicken taco, because those were really good. I'm sure they were difficult to make because it was this shaped chicken shell. I'm sure they were a pain in the ass to make, and then that's why they don't have them anymore. But they were really good. It was such a good idea that was just couldn't be implemented in a fast food scenario. Um, this is not quite that. First of all, I would need to pound my chicken much thinner. I would recommend actually butterflying your chicken breast for this. Um, cut it so lay it flat and then cut through it that way, and then try to pound out those halves and probably make two sandwiches out of the thing. Because clearly this is a bit too big. Um, I would bring that back. I'd try to thin out the outer layer of chicken for this for sure. That is, I think, where it's delicious, but it's such a monster. Um, but yeah, this worked. This worked by the way. I want to eat it while it's still nice and warm. So we are going to start wrapping us up right here and now. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching me concoct this. Here, let me show it to you on this camera. Thanks for watching me concoct and then devour this beast. Um, it's real tasty. If you uh, if you have the wherewithal to try it yourself, go for it. It's worth it, but it's not an easy journey for sure. Um, it's still snowing. Oh, delightful. Well, enjoy the snow. Thanks everyone for hanging out. This was a lot of fun. I had a really good result. Oop, one last moisten for the road. Mmm, moist. Um, let's go see who's on. Not a lot of people are on this morning. I'm ending a little bit earlier than I usually do as well, so they might just have not come on yet. Um, unless somebody has a suggestion. Does anyone have a suggestion? I always forget to ask for suggestions. Cookie! Cookie, welcome, welcome. I'm just wrapping up. But welcome in. I made this. I made this thing today. But welcome in, Cookie. Yeah, I'm just wrapping up. We have a little bit of a shorter show today. It didn't take super long. This is my KFC Double Down BLT, which I can't quite. I gotta hold it with pickle. And a lot of glare from that overhead light right there. I was just looking to see who we could raid off into to finish out our stream. But I am so glad that you made it over. Friend of the show, Cookie. We've raided her a few times. At least twice, I think. I don't know if Scotland would let me in. I'm not opposed to the idea, but I'm not trying to convince them to let me in. But I was just looking at the raid list to see if we could raid anyone, because that's always a nice thing to do. None of my usual suspects are on right now. So I was asking for suggestions. Let's see. We could go see. Okay, this one might appeal to some of you in chat specifically. Friendly Ed, I've only recently discovered, is speedrunning Mario 64 and has been speedrunning Mario 64 for a while and getting better and better. And he broke the 20 minutes recently. So we could go check out Friendly Ed and watch as he gets better and better at one of the most beloved games, I think, around. So let's go see Ed. We are unable to raid Friendly Ed at this time. Now, okay. Why? It wasn't letting me use any of my controls before. It won't let me. Let me refresh the page. It wouldn't let me skip ads before. And now it doesn't seem to want. Okay, now it works. I don't know what that was about. I'm not sure what that was about. The Twitch control panel just stopped working. But it's working now. It's sending us there. So we're gonna go see Ed, who I hope is gonna be on for a little bit. Looks like he's doing okay. Yeah, I don't know. Something Twitch be twitchy. Twitch be twitchy. But yeah, so that was a lot of fun. I had a really we have a fantastic result, which I'm going to thoroughly enjoy now. Very impressed. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to taste the real thing now to compare. It's not gonna live up. It's definitely not gonna live up. This was real good. We should show. Also, Cookie streams. Follow Cookie if you haven't followed Cookie. Let me do that quick shout out before we wrap up. I forgot to do that when you showed up. Bye. Stop.